Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Upset Podcast. I'm one of your hosts, Latasha Hewitt, and we're ready to upset that fruit basket once again. I'm going to bring on my fellow upsetters at this time. What's up, crew?
Good to
Hey,
see
hey,
you,
hey.
as always.
Here.
Yeah, we're excited today because we're going to be talking about clubbing. Right, guys?
Yep, let's get it. Let's go.
So,
Yeah.
so
Well,
inappropriate. So inappropriate.
Meet me at the club. Come on now.
So,
Califer don't know it by clubbing. He knows it by lounge.
we're going to be clubbing, lounging. But
no,
before we
I'm
get people
so old when you talk about clubbing, people are actually using a club. I mean, so
It's aggressive, huh? Well, before we upset too many people too early, we're not talking about traditional clubbing. We're talking about this new social media platform called Clubhouse. If you haven't at least heard somebody mention it, you're going to learn a little bit about it today. And we're going to talk about what it means for us right now. Is it just a fad? Is it a phase like so many other things? Or is this something that's going to be around for a long time? So, Justin, you're going to lead us out, give us some background on it, and we're all going to weigh in.
Yeah, let's do it. So there's a new kid on the social media streets and it's making major waves. It's less than a year old, but it's already running. And the name, of course, is Clubhouse.
Yep.
And it features real-time voice conversations that a user can listen to and chime in conversation. And it's invite only for those who are iPhone users also. And so you have high profile fans and also already 2 million users. So
Wow.
what about you all? Are you guys on Clubhouse or no?
I'm not there yet. I'm not there. I'm a little nervous.
I'm looking forward to this so that I can be thoroughly educated.
Yeah, I got on a bit early. Somebody put me on, and then you have to somebody has to refer you to get on.
Right.
So I got to say I'm on. It's
It's like joining the Masons, you guys.
But that's what scares me though. So many people are on it, talk about being on it for hours, that I'm scared that if I get on, I'll get hooked and lose some time.
It's amazing. It's like a never-ending interactive podcast or masterclass. You have so many different rooms going on different topics, and you can join and leave as you please. And so it is pretty addictive, but it's pretty cool. I don't think we've seen anything like this in a long time. And maybe this wouldn't have been a hit if the pandemic weren't going on and we weren't locked in at home.
Yeah.
But it's a wonderful way to connect with people. And people are selling invitations on eBay. People are selling things to buy iPhones, switching from Team Droid to Team Apple just to get on Clubhouse because people really don't want to miss out on this experience.
well, here's the thing I like about it. Also, there's the level. You could be the last kid on the block, and you're talking to someone who's like the CEO of a company that you never thought and they bring you up. They talk with you. You could ask them questions, and there's just no wall in between, and that's what I like. That's what I like about it.
Yeah.
There's something about these new relationship building applications that make an older person a little concerned. I mean, we call it the condomization of relationship. It's I want to touch you, but I don't want to touch you. I want the pleasure of our interaction, but I don't want any real connection with you. And there's something about it that just causes me to want to sit back and watch for a while. I mean, I'm still thinking as to whether or not I'm going to sign up for MySpace.
Wow.
MySpace. He didn't just say MySpace, did he?
Yo,
Wow.
please,
I'm
not
thinking about
MySpace.
that.
Please don't.
So
But let me ask you, because he mentioned something. I didn't even realize that Clubhouse is just audio. Like you don't even get to see people's faces. You're just listening to voices, right?
yes.
Oh.
You have a profile and it's just audio and you can mute yourself or you can talk if you unmute. But the beauty is it began with a bunch of Silicon Valley tech heads and a few celebrities got on and started promoting it. And so now there are lots of people, over 2 million people on the app. So to our next point, there are people who are frustrated because Clubhouse just received $1 billion valuation and venture capitalists are already ready to invest and make this thing become a multi-billion or trillion-dollar initiative. However, it is a face of a black person on the app. And so when you download the app, people assume that it's black owned because there's
Black
a
app.
black dude on the face of it.
Right.
And so when you talk about Dr. Claude Anderson and his quote, "Black labor, white wealth," or Powernomics, our culture, our people, our talents, our creativity, it seemed like it's being exploited. And we
Yeah.
made the app, and now they're going to become billionaires off of our labor per se. What do you think about that?
Yeah, it's something. Black is trending right now. More than ever, I see more cultures, races, Black Lives Matter as their profile picture. It's like black is the way to go. But I do agree. I think we're kind of being used to profit from it because if you put a black face there, it shows some sort of acceptance or we appreciate the black culture and black people. So you're not only appealing to blacks, but you're appealing to those other conscious people and other races who say, by doing this, I'm showing my support for fellow man. I don't know. I just think it's another ploy.
Yeah, I get it. Look at the commercials that on TV now. All the commercials on TV now, you're going to see the interracial couples that's on there, so it can show some type of acceptance that's there. So I do agree. But if you still look at it, this is nothing new. This has been going on with our music since day one. Even if you listen to commercials now, you're hearing hip hop in the background, you're hearing R&B in the background because they know that sells. So when I saw Clubhouse, and matter of fact, it's coined as the Black app.
Yep.
They kind of
Really?
call it the Black. Yeah, they
Yeah.
kind of call it.
Wow, I didn't know that.
Dominated by blackness.
Yeah, it is. I mean, you hardly ever see anyone else on there, and actually, they become an icon. White people become an icon on there when they're there. But just to be able, one of my favorite music writers, gospel music, Kevin
Bond.
Bond. This is a guy who I only wrote to back in seminary. We did a remake of his song. He gave us he agreed that we can go ahead and write, remix his music. Now I'm talking to him, I'm like, and there's no barrier. So I think that's where the openness comes in. Let me just add this really quick. When we were growing up, we used to listen to Dr. Ruth Westheimer. Yeah, he's too young for that. Only Tally would know what I'm talking about.
Oh,
Right?
yeah.
And so she would talk about, she's a doctor, a sexual therapist, but we couldn't listen to her. We used to go to bed and put the transistor radio underneath the pillow because we didn't want anybody to hear that conversation. But imagine this, that what brought those type of talk shows going at night was that you were able to call into the show. See, and that's what makes it interesting when you be able to talk back and forth. And I think that's what happened with Clubhouse, that anybody could jump in and have a conversation, which broadens the range of whatever questions you were coming out with. You don't even have that anymore. It can go from right to left in a matter of minutes, depending on. So I do like Clubhouse. But I'm going to let our host, GP, carry on for a little bit because I do have a negative on it that happened with me. So go ahead.
Yeah. So the fact that you can connect with people from all walks of life. I'm an avid podcast junkie. I have talked and interacted with Lewis Howes and lots of people that I wouldn't have met if I weren't on the app. And it has kind of put us all on the same level. Yeah, you might have less followers or more followers than me, but we all are people and we connect with our voices, and it's pretty authentic. But when you think about the newness of this app and how it has gone viral, is audio really that new? I mean, didn't you guys have something called like party lines back in the day?
You guys, he's talking to you guys.
Y'all old people?
I think I'll field this one. Yes, after a while he's going to talk about smoke signals and beats on drums, but not only that. I mean, but before that, there was the ham radio phenomenon where people would talk to people all around the world and you wouldn't see them. It was called Clubhouse back then. No, I'm only kidding.
What's old is new again.
And then in the 70s, there was the CB radio craze where
I had one.
people would communicate with strangers. And and then when the computers came along, there were other entities like this. It seems very familiar. Just the idea where you can anonymously engage
Right.
people, except that you supposedly have some level of knowledge of their persona and vice versa. There's something about it that, I'm not saying that it's of the devil, but whoever the devil's second cousin is.
Yeah, I mean that addictive nature attached to it, could easily make you think that. Now, there's this thing called like the stage, right, where people get invited. Like, so you could just comment, and if you show that you have some expertise in that subject matter, you're invited to the stage. Is
All
that
you have to do is raise your hand,
Yeah.
and the
yeah?
moderator will see your
Oh,
hand raised, and they can bring you
bring you
onto the
on the
stage.
stage.
Then you can talk. So
That's
you
so
can
So
be
cool.
in the cut listening as a consumer, or you can contribute to the conversation. So there are people who are on the app all day running errands, doing work, and it's just playing in the background. And there are people on the app 20 hours a day talking their head off, losing their voice. So you can do what you want.
And that's what I was just about to tell you. The
That's
problem with mine is that some of my interest is music, or so anytime something comes up with music, it'll hit me, and I'm on there. I'm like, okay, let me hold the news for a second. Let me hear who this is, and it could be someone. It doesn't even matter. The problem with me is that I like radio. I like to listen to stuff. So anytime something comes up, I can put it down and just have it playing. And here's the good thing: if it goes left or it goes right, you're disinterested in it. All you need to do is press a button that says "Leave quietly," and it just kind of takes you out of the background. Yeah, it just pays you out. So really, if you have the addictive spirit of listening to something like this, you could be on it
for
8 hours a
hours.
day,
All day, all night.
all day,
Never ending
never
content.
ending, never ending.
Yeah.
I hear a voice echoing from the garden saying, "And ye shall be as gods." The idea of talking to everyone all the time, anytime you want to, all day. Ah, yes, I hear the desire to acquire the skills of the Almighty. Ye shall be as gods.
Mercy, mercy.
But
But see,
go ahead, go. I'm
no,
sorry.
I'm just thinking, what what do you think the primary goal of those who come on there is? Some people use it as networking. I've seen people kind of promote their business or things that they're able to do by hosting, you know, what do they call us? A room,
Rooms.
hosting a room, and then they're able to kind of share resources and things, and then they can connect after. Then some people just come to kind of like be a fly on the wall and eavesdrop and get the latest information. I mean, from the two of you who are on there, what do you see in the clubhouse in terms of why people are on there, like primarily?
Yeah, I think people are there to, connect with people and to, talk about their passions, their interests. There are rooms that are literally there, people moaning and they're giving prize money to people in the
Moaning?
moan room. Yes. So
That's
you have
a different kind of chat altogether.
so you have rooms of foolishness
Oh,
and
okay, it's a little bit
rooms
of
of
everything.
rooms of fruitfulness. So you can learn how to be a public speaker. You can learn how to get into the voiceover industry. You can learn
Right.
about podcasting, learn about real estate, learn about Bitcoin. Whatever you want to do, you can find it on the app because your hallway, your hallway is dependent on who you're following. And so if you can customize your experience based on who you follow. I feel like that's a sermon somewhere. But you literally
All right
Oh,
now.
there
create
is.
create the experience that you want by who you choose to follow. And so choose wisely.
Yeah, and it's true.
I have
I've been in.
decided
Go ahead, turn them up, turn them up.
to
Hey,
follow. Oh, please.
no,
I'm
no, you
sorry.
got background
I
music.
didn't
Let's
mean to
go with it.
interrupt everyone.
I've been on. I've been invited to some where people were debasing Christ.
I was
Um,
gonna ask about that.
and so they invite me right away. Hey, you got to get on this and knock them out. And as I was listening to it, you have more people who were against Christ So you have to ask yourself the question, do I jump in there and say what? But in listening to them, at least we have the opportunity of understanding what some of our young people are thinking.
Yeah.
And so I may not be on there to break into the conversation or to fight with someone, but just to at least listen to what they're thinking, even about politics, the underground, the left wingers, QAnon. There's so many things that they're talking about. The real thing get away with this is if you're able to stand it, if you're able to get what you need and glean from it. You ask the question, what are they on there for? Some are on, I get it. To me, the biggest thing is networking and advertising. Right.
Oh, okay.
And I think that's the biggest one. And you're right, GP. I've been in some certain rooms where I thought it was something else, and it was something else. And it's interesting to note that we have our other side of our people, you know what I mean? So they're going to go out and decide, I'm going to start an OnlyFans room, and this is the only way I can get people an OnlyFans room. So they change their pictures to slightly nudity so that everybody could jump over there. But it's coming out of a regular conversation. So they may have a conversation like, and I remember this conversation, how can we tighten the relationship with husband and wife? So everybody's jumping on there just to hear that. Meanwhile, the first three people are on there saying, well, if it ain't working out at home, this is where you need to come to over here.
Wow.
And so
mercy.
And so I look at my room, which got about 400 people, 500 people in it, and I see some of my brethren on there. So what I do is press the button that says,
bow out.
Leave quietly.
Leave quietly. Not me. Not me.
Get out of there. Let me get out of there. But it is interesting. It, like any other social media, it's interesting.
But does it have the longevity of some of our other platforms? Someone brought up the fact that because of this pandemic, people are craving connection. And, is this just putting a nice little Band-Aid on all the social distancing we've been doing? When we eventually get back to life a little bit more normally, will this still have the same appeal?
I think this app has a potential to stay, and because they're already talking about ways to monetize the rooms where you can host a room and have a cover charge to let people into a certain conversation. People are already pulling off conferences. I'm going to be a part of a podcasting conference in March. They've already pulled off The Lion King. They're pulling off comedy shows.
The Lion King was good.
It was amazing.
Yeah,
what was The Lion King? Help me out with that. What was it?
People were singing and acting out the parts of the entire production.
In all audio, just
it was
listening.
Done well. They had auditions, casting
on it.
So listen, I've been casted to do voiceover work for a biblical audio drama. The person found me on Clubhouse talking. They were like, I want to use your voice. And I got paid to read a part and to participate in that biblical audio drama.
Okay.
So when you talk about networking and connections, you can find people to connect with and collaborate with on the app. And so there is a lot of good happening on the app. And there is also a Black app called The Cookout. So the Clubhouse and The Cookout. And The Cookout is Black owned. You can check it out. It's not as popular. It's not worth as much. But it's there.
The Cookout.
The Cookout.
Do they serve pork?
I can't tell you what they serve.
Okay.
But I can tell you
as long as the potato salad don't have raisins in it, I think we're gonna be okay.
Seasoning.
But that works out perfectly. That's always that who's invited to the cookout. Like they're not invited to the cookout, so that kind of works out.
Only
with
Blacks
the
are allowed on this app. So.
One of the things that I as a person who's the oldest person right here at this point. Oh, Chuck, where are you? I mean, we noticed first, there were phones, then cell phones, and the pagers, and every time we turn around, there are devices that supposedly allow for greater dialogue, greater connectivity. But we have never been further apart from one another, and people have never been lonelier. And so I'm wondering, what does that imply? What does it mean when you have something called the Clubhouse, and everybody's in there rubbing shoulders with each other, and then we come away and we still feel absolutely isolated?
Has anyone seen The Social Dilemma on Netflix?
I haven't seen it yet. No.
If you heard about it,
reading my Bible a lot and stuff.
Oh,
you need to watch it.
Yeah,
if you watch Social Dilemma, I'll say this: if I were not a part if I had not built youth ministry on through Facebook and through Instagram, I would have probably left social media. Um, I
Wow, that says a lot.
Yeah, no, really, because I feel like right now, if I left social media, I'm talking about Facebook, etc., that I would leave young people abandoned that's looking for information or from
Hmm.
me. So that's the good side of it. Okay, so let's just say that's the good side of it. The other side of it is that it's a colossal waste of energy and a colossal waste of time that even the people who have made it don't even give it to have their children on it. So
Yeah.
that was the takeaway for me when they didn't allow their children to be on social media. The
Right.
ones who made so that's what got me about it the most.
Yeah, they know it's addictive. They know how it can, ruin you mentally, your self-esteem,
Yep.
all kinds of things. And Tally's right. I mean, we are more connected than we've ever been, but we're also lonelier than we've ever been. And we see the numbers for suicide and I mean, the ages are getting younger and younger, where people are really
Sure.
stressed and just alone and isolated. So, what can we do to foster that balance in our society that is hyper connected? How can we become more connected and less isolated?
I sense that life is not about building more connections as much as it's enriching those that you have. The human bandwidth I don't think is wide enough. The lure to be like God, which is to be omni in touch and omni capable of connecting, it attenuates our strength to the point that we become shallow. We are a mile wide and an inch deep, and I sense that I sense that what we need to do, the greatest part of relationship from my perspective, is accountability.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't have a relationship with you unless I am accountable to you, and I can't be accountable to everybody. And so, our attempts to connect to more and more people, to have a greater and greater friends list, and all of that, is a futile attempt to take on the claims of God likeness without having the ability to carry it out.
Mm,
Yeah, that's deep. And it made me think as you're talking, so many of us have not even connected with the friends that we've had for
Yeah.
all our lives, but we spend our time connecting with total strangers.
yeah.
And, maybe it's time for us to, if we're looking for connection, to go back to those bonds that we've had over the years, those college friends we haven't talked to in a while, those family members we haven't connected with in a while, and prioritize quality over quantity with some of these platforms.
It's that's
That's
well put.
heavy. That's
Yeah,
heavy.
it is.
That
It
is
is.
food for
It is.
thought.
It is. I think about friends that I've had, um, and I treasure my friends. I treasure friendships, and I think about new ones, right? And I always say, how did I connect? How did I get connected to the new ones? Is it because I'm a pastor? Is it because I'm in a ministry somehow? Is it because of music? Where did that come from? And all of that is you see a connection to having a friend because of, and then you think about the friends that you had when you had nothing. You think
Hmm.
about the friends that you had before I grew a mustache or whatever the case may be.
Turn gray.
Hey, that's it. Turn gray. And and you're right about that. And I think I spoke about that this week at church. The first thing is about accountability, Tally. Those people who you have accountability with are the ones that can actually change your soul or actually can change.
Hmm. Yeah.
And I think that was one of the important things. GP, was on with me this week. One of the changes that you have to make, which we all must make changes to in our lives, is the accountability factor that's there. Does Clubhouse have that? It can, but the overall piece of it is that it won't. Sometimes I put things on Facebook and I say, "Wow, nobody liked that." And I'm a grown man. I'm a grown
Right. Right.
I was like, wow, nobody liked that. Or you put up something profound and somebody says, oh, you're silly. And you think to yourself, that wasn't the reason why I put it up in the first place.
Right. You're not getting it.
You're not getting what you wanted out of it, which can do something to your self-esteem. So if I'm 50 years old and it's doing something to me, imagine what's going on with our 18-year-olds and our 17-year-olds who's literally hanging themselves because they didn't get a like on Instagram.
Wow.
Yeah.
One of the and this really, when I first contemplated it, really got me. Narcissism is not about an intense love of self. Narcissism is about an intense love of one's image, what you want people to think of you, and the thing that happens on these sites is that we are promoting not ourselves but our image.
Wow.
And
you didn't have to put me out there like that, Tyler. I mean,
listen up.
you didn't have to do that like that. I'll get back at you on another show. I'm just saying, I put my heart out there, and you went ahead and call me a narcissist. But it's okay. We'll go ahead and deal with it. We'll go ahead and deal with it.
So to Clubhouse or not to Clubhouse, Tasha? That is
the question. Yeah. Is this just another craze?
I'm looking at GP, and he's starting to think about his Clubhouse.
Listen, I am going to stay on Clubhouse, but I will be more balanced with my time, and
That's
I'm going to
the
be
key.
intentional about taking breaks and limiting my time, because I want to consume the app, but I don't want the app to consume me. So
Absolutely.
Let me also tell you this, and we know this, and those who are going to be following us, because we're going to have something on the birth of your child. When that baby comes, the hours that you thought you had.
No, there'll be a room on Clubhouse for new fathers, and he'll be right in there.
I'll be leading it.
He'll be leading it in there. Everybody be warming up a bottle.
Yeah, so that's this has been a great discussion, because sometimes we can get caught up in trends and what's trending and all the craze, but if you're craving connection, maybe it's time to pick up your Bible. Maybe it's time to connect with the people in your own house instead of your Clubhouse. But at the same time, GP, as you mentioned, if you can find the balance where you're not overdoing it and you're getting out of it these great networking opportunities, then why not, right? So Clubhouse might be for you. It may not, but it's out there for you to decide.
Yeah, and don't hesitate to reach out to me. I have like 7 invitations. So
that's right, because it's invitation only. So
then holler at your boy.
Okay, maybe I'll ask for an invite. I don't know.
You have an iPhone?
I do.
Okay.
Wait a minute. Do you have to have an iPhone for that?
iPhone only for now.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah,
well, then see.
That eliminates
I
you,
know
right?
it's of the devil.
Oh Lord, that's a whole nother. All right, guys.
Android
You're upsetting somebody, even if it's not on Clubhouse. You're upsetting somebody about Android and
iPhone. That's forever going to be the great debate, right?
Yeah, that's another episode for another day.
Another day, but it's been cool chatting it up about the Clubhouse. We did a little clubbing today. We didn't even get in trouble for it, so.
Still higher.
All right, we appreciate the dialogue as always, and we hope that you'll tune in next week for another episode of the Upset Podcast. Thanks, guys.
Thank you so much. Always good.